sound insulated.
So SI.
Yeah, if it's sound insulated,
Then H.
then it's quiet enough for home appliance for use. Okay, in the home. If a motor is quiet enough to use in the home, then it can be used in institutional settings. Oops. Well, okay. If home, then institutional settings. Sounds good. All right. None of the motors manufactured by EM Industries are quiet enough to use in the home. Okay. So if you're EM, so the EM ones are not quiet enough to be used in the home. Are we cool with that?
That's fine.
So to me, this last idea right here, right? It applies to this, right?
I had like it set up like a condition like if EM then not H.
Yeah.
Is that wrong?
No, it's not wrong, but I think it's easier to think of it as they have the characteristic of not H, right?
Okay.
Which means what? If they are not H, what do we know must be true about them? They're not sound insulated. Yeah, let me change this to SI. I know it's a little confusing. You have institutional setting and sound insulated, but if they're not H, then that means that they're not SI.
Right. I thought like all of my diagramming was fine.
So this is something we could infer from this, right? Now what they're probably going to do, I can almost smell it coming. They're going to give us something that says they're not IS. That'd be a false contrapositive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we go through them all, or do you want to talk about a particular?
No, like so I narrowed it down between B and E, and then I picked the wrong one.
Oh, so B, none of the motors manufactured by EM is sound insulated.
Right, and that's correct.
That's correct. Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly right.
E, none of the motors manufactured by EM Industries can be used in.
Yeah.
That's the false contrapositive.
So why exactly is it the false contrapositive?
Well, imagine this like an in-out game, right? If you had this chain and I told you H was out, what would you say?
H was out. That doesn't really mean anything for sound insulated.
No, if H is out, in other words,
if H is out, sound insulated has to be out.
That means this can't be true, right? So, but it doesn't tell me anything about this, because you go backwards when it's negated.
Okay.
And you only go forwards when it's the same thing. Like if they told us that EM were H, then we would know that they're IS. And we wouldn't know whether they're SI.
Yeah, I thought it's really hard to deduce on the test. Like I got down between those two. And I was like, I'm just gonna go with E.
Yeah.
It sounds right, but it's those two.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So
we know that all H's are IS, but that couldn't be true for all non-H's too. I don't know.
But if it's, I have like, if it's IS, then it's not EM. Because
If it's what?
If it is IS, I guess you can't deduce that.
No, because that's going backwards, right? Then you're saying if you're IS and you're H, but that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, I get it.
It could be true, but it doesn't have to be true.
It doesn't must be true.
It doesn't must be true. Yeah.
Okay. We can move on.
Okay.